Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. I literally just before hitting record recorded myself singing Special by Lizzo into the microphone, recorded it, and then I was like, I'm just going to listen to what I sound like. And I sound horrendous. There's a reason why I'm not a singer. There's a reason why I do this and I am a fashion influencer, not a singer. There's a reason for it. Honestly, I was like, I'm embarrassed. I'm actually embarrassed. Let's delete the singing clip that I just did. And we'll actually record the podcast, which is what I'm here to do. You know what I mean? Did you any of you, like when you were younger, record your voice on, I'm pretty sure we used to do it on like our like little phones. If you're, of my age, you might have had most of you listening probably did have some sort of a brick phone when you were younger. I don't think many of you are probably super young. But you might be someone who had an iPhone young. I don't know. But anyway, when I was in school, I had a Nokia brick, some sort of Nokia brick phone. It had like a removable case thing at the back and you could change the back. Anyway, I had a Nokia phone and I didn't really use it much because like the only reason I had it was because in case my parents were late to pick me up from school. Like that's literally the only reason I had it. Like I didn't even text people. You'd go on MSN back in the day. But I remember you used to record yourself, maybe not on my Nokia brick, but on my Motorola phone, I definitely recorded myself. How else did we record ourselves? Voices. We definitely did it. I can't even think. But I remember recording myself singing once and listening to it back and being like, there is absolutely no way you are getting on X Factor. I don't even know why you think you are. You're not. X Factor used to be such a big thing of life back then. Anyway, I also have like my sister had a video camera and we used to record ourselves doing things all the time. I remember we once made a video. We made a video, like a music video. Oh my god, it's actually cringing me out thinking about this. I don't think my sister still has it. I don't think we still have it. But we made this video. I think it was to a Scouting for Girls song. We made a whole music video and we like played it to our parents. My parents must have thought we were so weird. And yeah, life was so innocent back then. Singing clips, you'd have them. No one would hear them. There's no chance they'd ever get anywhere. They're probably somewhere. Do you know what I mean? They're probably on one of my like old laptops that I have like at my parents' house. Embarrassing. You don't need to hear me singing. It's a good job I'm not singing today, isn't it? It's a really good job I'm not singing. Anyway, today is another dull, cloudy day. I swear to God, all we're getting at the moment is dull days. I need some fun. I need some light. I need some good vibes. Not dull. Dull is not helping me right now. Dull is not helping me. And I'm sure a lot of you can agree. I'm sure a lot of you are the same. Probably feeling the same. We're all feeling the same. Weather is shit. At the moment, it's shit. I'm such a British person. I know. But the weather really affects me. And I think at the moment I'm dying for spring and there's no spring. And I swear I spoke about this last week. So we're not going to talk about that. But what we are going to talk about today is non-negotiables. I had a discussion with someone actually recently about non-negotiables. I think there's a lot of things that we have in our lives that are non-negotiables. And I think a lot of the time you don't necessarily realise that they're non-negotiables. There are so many things that we have in general day-to-day life, even day-to-day life, that you brush past, that you don't think of, but they're things that you would not budge from, that you would not change, that you have to do a certain way. Everyone has them. And if you don't know what non-negotiable is, essentially it's something you're not willing to budge on. It's not willing to move, you're not willing to change. This is how it is and I'm not changing it. Obviously there's certain things we have in life that if you like, I'm doing it this way, and if someone's like, maybe we should do it this way, you might have to change. But there's a lot of things that are set in stone almost that you're not willing to change. So for example, you might have certain things that you want in a partner, and those are non-negotiables. There are things that if that person doesn't have that, they're not for me. And we all do have those things as well. Same goes for if you're looking for a house and you know that you need 3 bedrooms. I just held up 2 fingers like three bedrooms. Say you need 3 bedrooms because you've got you and your 2 children. That's a non-negotiable. You need a house with 3 bedrooms. So there's always things that, you know, they seem like just little things. They don't seem like a non-negotiable. They don't seem like, I feel like non-negotiable sounds quite, what's the word? It sounds really like, like, oh, non-negotiable. Whereas like, it might be, for instance, if you're looking for a house, you might be like, oh, these are the things that we're looking for. This is what we need. What I need sounds different. And like, it doesn't feel as like, as this is a non-negotiable. Non-negotiable sounds really, really like harsh and like stern, doesn't it? Like if you were to go, for instance, you're in an office and your manager comes up to you and she's like, this is the tasks that we've got in front of us. These are non-negotiables. You need to do them. They're non-negotiable. You have to do it. It's part of your job. It's a non-negotiable. You'd be like, whoa, okay, sorry. But like when you think about non-negotiables in just like general terms, it doesn't seem so harsh and like do you know what I mean? Am I making any sense? I don't know. But actually one of you guys who is listening, thank you for messaging me about non-negotiables, because I think it's a really good topic to talk about. And she was saying that how she wanted to see my non-negotiables, and I also wanted to know all of your guys' non-negotiables. So I do actually have some from you guys to share, which I think will be really fun and good to talk about. But before we get into yours, I thought we could talk about my non-negotiables. Not that you even asked, but I'm going to share them anyway, because if you're stuck on non-negotiables or you don't really know what your non-negotiables are, then maybe this will make you realize things. Also, I think that as you go through life, you learn more and more and more about the things that you are willing to budge on and not budge on. And I think in the last year or so, I've come up with like way more things that are important to me. I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole massive long list of things that are important to me, but I'm going to share with you a few things that I found recently, well, in the last year, that are like non-negotiables that for me are really, really important and that I wouldn't budge on as such. Do you know what I mean? First one being trust. I'm very good at putting trust in people. I do feel like you can't not put trust in someone until they've given you a reason to not trust them. Like, unless they've given you a reason not to trust them, you should trust them, right? Essentially. And I think sometimes it takes just one small little knock for someone to not trust you or you not trust them. But in terms of like actual general life, like I don't like the idea of someone you feel like you've been really comfortable with and you've been honest with and you feel good about and you trust them, and then them to switch on you and you're like, oh my God, everything I trusted about you was a lie. That, not for me. So trust is really, really important. It's something I'm not, like, I do take a little bit of time now, I think, to trust someone because I've had my trust knocked by a situation, and that isn't something that I'm like I said, I trust people quite easily, not in like a instantly trusting someone and tell them everything, but if I get on really well with someone, if I'm genuinely feeling like that good vibes with someone, I will probably tell them a good lot of things happening in my life. But then when that person then switches or changes, it can be really, really hard to then be like, oh, okay, but I trusted you. Do you know what I mean? So trust is really important. It's something that I will always build upon. I think trust is something, like I said, you can't not trust someone until they give you a reason to not trust them, because you always have to go into situations trusting that person is doing the right thing until you find out that they haven't or they have. Do you know what I mean? So trust is really important. Another one that is also really important to me is honesty. In the last year, I've really, really learned how important it is to be communicative. Sorry, that's not a word, is it? No, definitely not a word. How important it is to communicate with people when you're having an issue, when you're having a thought, a feeling, maybe you're not feeling great about something. Communicate it. It's so important. Never bottle it up. This is just something I've learned. I'm very good at bottling up my feelings. I don't necessarily like to talk about them. But in the last year, I've realised how important it is and how nice it is to just voice these concerns when you have them. And being honest is so important. Like me and my friend Meg, we're always honest with each other. If I've bothered her, she'll hands up and be like, you pissed me off. And I'm like, sorry, hold my hands up, didn't mean to do that. Sorry, it's okay, squash it, gone, done. Same with all of my other friends. Like, we always have these things where it's like, just be honest, because if you're honest, you can move past it. It might take a bit of time, but it's one of those things, if you just hide it, it will cause problems further down the line. And honesty, I would say I was always honest with people. Like, I can't really lie. I'm not very good at lying. I don't feel like it's true to me. Honesty is the best policy. Is that what it's called? Honesty is the best policy. Yeah. My parents have always taught me honesty is the best policy. So I will always be honest. I'd rather be honest, and oh my God, got a story to tell you. Once when I was working in an office, me and this girl did the same job, and we were assistants, and we had a lot to do. Like, assistants, I feel for you. You do a lot of work. I hated it. Anyway, there was one day my manager was like, "Oh, have you done this thingy?" I can't remember. It was like an online thing. You had to like. It was almost like what do you call it? Like a course. She was like, "Have you done it?" And have you looked at it? I was like, "No." Straight up, I was like, "No, I haven't." The other girl sits there and she goes, yeah, I've been reading through it. I've been looking at it. And I knew for a fact she hadn't. And I was like, now I look like a shitty, stupid person who doesn't know what they're doing, who doesn't do the work they've been asked. And I was like, oh my God, I've always been taught that honesty is most important. But then I realised over time, I was like, I'm so glad that I'm being honest, because at the end of the day, this is who I am. I'm not a bullshitter. I'm not like that. And the same comes for people that come into my life. Be honest with me. Don't beat around the bush. Don't like create lies. Not about it. I've had friends that have like created lies or manipulated your brain and manipulated everything they're saying or what you're saying, and it just then makes you feel stressed out. Nope. And also with relationships and boys, like, why are you lying? Why are you lying? Tell me. Why are you lying? If a boy can't be honest with you, if a boy can't tell you straight up, look, I don't want anything from the get-go, or if he can't even tell you that he's dating other people at the same time, then it's an absolute no. You can leave. You can walk away. I don't want to be with a guy who can't be honest. It's not hard to be honest. But apparently, I feel like boys these days, they're not men, they're boys, don't know how to be honest. They don't know how to have a conversation. Don't know how to communicate. Look, it's not hard. If you're not interested, just say. Don't need to ghost a girl. You don't need to do it. It's really not hard. I feel like boys just don't know what they're doing in life. Grow up is what they need to do. Boys need to grow up. I was listening to what's Abby Clancy and Peter Crouch's podcast called? I can't remember, but their podcast, they were talking about the word grow up, and I just thought it was hilarious. If you've not listened to their podcast, I'd listen to it. It's really funny. They just chat about those random things. Anyway, honesty is the best policy, and you know, if someone's being honest with you, then that's all you can ask for. And sometimes honesty isn't what you want to hear, but honesty is the best policy. My next one is appreciates my job and what I do. Something I've learned in the last year or so, especially with boys more so, is that often they will get maybe a tad intimidated by the fact that, one, I'm doing well for myself, and two, I know where I want to be. I know where I'm going. I'm very like strong-minded. I know what I'm doing, and I have a vision and a pathway, and I'm going down it. Whether you want to come with me or not, that's it. I'm going where I want to go. I know where I'm going. I know what job I want. I have the job I want, but like, I know where I'm going with it. I'm very strong-minded. If a guy can't handle it, if they don't appreciate my job, if they don't appreciate the fact that I am doing well and they want to support the fact that I'm doing well, please leave. And often they do. Often they walk away before I get the chance, because boys like to be the breadwinner, right? And some guys like a girl that just is there and just, you know, is plodding along with their life, and they want a girl that's kind of like just fits into their life and is just perfect, you know, in that kind of sense. Someone who just, you know, is easy, chill, has like a job and doing well for herself, but not like girl bossing it, just mellow, You know, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, by the way. I'm just saying that that's often what a lot of boys want. Whereas I am not that girl. I will never be the girl that is like that. I'll always be the girl that was working hard. Always. And I get this from my mum because my mum is like such a hardworking human being. So now when it comes to dating, if you can't appreciate my job, if you think it's weird or if you judge it or whatever. I remember one guy said to me once like, oh, I can just do that. And I was like, no, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't. Appreciate the fact that I'm doing well and, you know, love it because it's not hard to love that. I personally think it's very, very, very attractive when someone's ambitious, but apparently boys don't. Or they do until they realise, oh, actually I can't just have you slip into my life. I've got to figure out how I can get into yours. And yeah, I'm just not dealing with it. If you don't appreciate my job is my life. My job is my life. I love my job. You've got to appreciate it. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that one. Next one is rudeness is an absolute no. If you're rude, get out. If you're rude, get out. Please leave. I can't stand rudeness. There is something about someone who's being rude that I just can't understand. Like, I get it. Sometimes you get in a bit of a mood. Sometimes you might come across rude. But I have witnessed people, on social media especially, countless amounts of times being rude about really little things or being rude towards their followers. And I'm like, come on, you chose to do this job. People ask questions. You can't be rude. Being rude is not the way to do it. I just find it such an unattractive thing in every single person, whether it's friends, like work colleagues, partner, anything. I think it's so unattractive when someone's rude. Like, there is literally no need to being rude. Like, I understand sometimes situations can get a bit heated and you might say something or you might be really angry. But for the most part, like, if you're being rude often, get out. I am not dealing with it. Rude people piss me off. I just don't understand it. Just don't understand why you have to say something. No one cares. No one cares. You don't need to be rude. Like, you just don't need to be rude. Just don't need it. And I'm not having it in my life. So it's a non-negotiable for me. Another one leading on to that is being authentic. I think it's so important to just be the person you are. You're so lucky to be on this planet. And everyone is a beautiful human being in their own right? Everyone is a beautiful human being. Just be authentic to who you are. I would say, I'd like to think so anyway, that I am authentic to myself, like an authentic to me. I'm always an authentic person. I don't think I ever stray away from that. I went on a date once, recently actually, like over a week ago. It was a few weeks ago now. And this guy, I was just trying to have a conversation. Like, I would say I was quite a chatty person and I can have a good conversation and I can, you know, chat easy. This guy, and I was just trying to flirt. And you know, like when you're flirting and you say something like, I don't know, like maybe you stick to your day job kind of thing. I was saying these kind of things and he wasn't getting it. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's not even getting the fact that this is how I am. I was like, and the date wasn't going great anyway. So I was like, get me out of here, please. I'm not a celebrity. Get me out of here, honestly. Like, it was horrible. So yeah, being authentic, just being you is so important. And I've mentioned this before about how important it is to be just yourself. But being yourself in every aspect possible. Like me and my friend Meg, for example, we often have conversations about the most random things because we have the most random thoughts. We're like two human beings that, I don't know why, but I would say, I don't know if she'll agree with this, but I will say, I think we're soulmates. We're friend soulmates. Because I don't know what happened and how we came together, but we've come together and we are the same human being. We're different. We're very different, but we're also so similar in so many ways. For instance, like, we'll just all of a sudden like message each other and be like, don't you think it's weird that we have eyes? Like, they're just a ball, but you see through them. And then we'll have a whole conversation about it and we'll think about it and we'll be like, wow, that's blown my mind. Genuinely, I think like this a lot and she thinks like this. And I'm so glad she does because we have these conversations so often that I'm like, if anyone heard this, they'd probably be like, are you okay? But yeah, being authentic and just being yourself is so important. And I like to be around people that are also like that, because it's just good vibes. I like when someone is a good vibe and they're just authentic and true to themselves. Oh, I love it. My friend Jamie's like that. Oh my God, I love him so much. He's just one of those human beings that is so like happy, but he's not always happy, but his whole personality is just there as soon as you meet him. Everything about him there, and I love it. I love people like that. So being authentic is very important in every aspect of life and people that you meet. Obviously it's different with work and stuff. You can't always be around authentic people, but I want people in my life that are authentic, aren't lying about shit, aren't bullshitting, and just living their best lives. Do you know what I mean? The next one is ambitious. Being ambitious. As I mentioned before, I'm a very ambitious person. I'm probably I'm very ambitious. I always have been ambitious. Mainly because like when I was younger, when I was at school, I didn't really like school. I didn't enjoy it. I always knew I wanted to do fashion, and they don't do fashion at school. Well, not when I went to school anyway. And I had to do all of these horrible, stupid lessons like English, maths, science. Was I ever going to use science? No. But did I have to do it? Yes. And it was one of those things where I was just like, I managed to get C's pretty much and everything. I got like two B's, but most of it I got C's. I actually got a D in French and a D in history. So yeah, wasn't the best at school. I wasn't the worst, but I wasn't the best. Like getting a C was an achievement for me. I was like, oh my God, yes, I got a C. And if I got anything above that, I thought I was amazing. I was like, wow. But like, it's definitely pushed me to be ambitious in the areas that I know I'm good at. And therefore, as I've got older, I'm like, well, I'm getting here. I'm going to get there. If someone's told me at any point you're not going to get there, or, oh, you don't need to do that, or you're not that good at something, I will prove them wrong. Whether they care or not, I will prove to myself that I can get there and I will get there. So ambitious is something that's really important, especially in a relationship as well. I don't want to be with someone who's not ambitious. You've got to have dreams. You've got to have goals. You've got to go get them. Like, that's important to me because I'm like that. And I wouldn't want to be with someone who's just like panders to me. No, I don't want someone who's sitting around. No, go out and get that life you want. Go out and work for it. Go out and get it because you deserve it and you can do it. Everyone is out there hustling away. We all hustle. But if you're ambitious and you love what you do and you're enjoying it and you're like, okay, maybe you don't like your job now, but you're getting there. That is so like, oh, I just love people that are ambitious. Have some sort of like passion for something, whether that's like a hobby or not. Having a passion and ambitious, oh, love it. Only surround yourself with people that have got goals they want to achieve. If they've got no goals, what are you doing? But no, I'm saying that like, I'm sure there's people out there who want to have like ambition, but they're struggling. But I mean in general terms, do you know what I mean? Another one is a clean space. I hate a messy space. I hate it. I've lived with people that are messy. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it anymore. I mean, granted, my flat, the bit you can't see over there, is a tad messy, but it's my mess. And I know it's my mess. So therefore, when I tidy it, I clean it because it's my own mess. But when it's someone else's mess, don't bring your mess into my space. Nope. Healthy relationship with yourself is another one. I think that being true and to yourself and being like good to yourself is really important. And I have been around people who are maybe, have dealt with trauma throughout their life and they're not necessarily the nicest to themselves. And it's really, really hard to be around sometimes because you almost take on some of the feelings they're feeling. I'm quite an empathetic person. Is that it? Empathize. Yeah, empathetic person. If someone's sad or down, I can almost feel their feelings a little bit. Depends how close I am to them. But if you're not having a healthy relationship with yourself, it does drift onto other people. So being like your number one supporter and being like, I'm great, I'm amazing, it's so good. And like, you have to appreciate the person you are. Like I've said before in previous episodes, like, you are amazing, you are fabulous. The person you are is amazing. Like, being that person and appreciating it. And yeah, so healthy relationship with yourself is really important. And I think it's important in general. Like, for me, when I went through a really shitty dating situation and then realized how much I needed to focus on myself, but I also had gone through at the same time a really shitty patch of anxiety that was really bad. So I had so much work to do on myself, and I am like in the best place I could possibly be now. So yeah, healthy relationship with yourself is a good one. Being positive. I've been around negative people. I've been around people that suck the life out of me, and I'm not doing it anymore. I refuse. If you're negative, or if you're like manipulative, narcissistic, go away. I'm not dealing with it. I don't want people like that. Negativity is not allowed in my world anymore. Obviously everyone has negative moments. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm talking about people that just bring your mood down and just bring out the negativeness, or bitching about people. Like, go away. Not dealing with it anymore. Doing things that you love is another thing that I'm not willing to budge on. Like, for instance, I love doing Pilates. I don't enjoy it every single time, I won't lie, but I do love it. I love like being able to exercise and enjoying that and having that in my life. Not willing to budge on that. That's going to stay in my life. I'm not moving it. I'm not moving my love for Pilates for something else, for someone else. Do you know what I mean? Or even if you like to read, or if you like to go on certain walks, or maybe like if you're someone like me who does Instagram on the side of your job and that's your hobby, you're not willing to budge on it. That's okay, because you love it. Doing things you love is so important. Don't ever let anyone stop you from doing the things you love, because you're essentially letting them control things that you're doing. No, I'm going to do the things I love and we're going to roll with it. We love doing things we love. Do you know what I mean? And the last one I've added to my list, before I share with you some products, I'm actually going to show you some products today that I would say are non-negotiables in my life. The last one is respect. Respect me, respect people. Like, respect is so important. I don't think there's much more to say other than that you should respect people, respect your elders, respect your parents, like, respect the people around you. People have worked hard. Like, I respect my parents so much. Like, they did a lot when I was younger. They still wanted to work. My parents, when we were younger, worked pretty much all the time. My mum even worked Saturdays. So then when it got to like holidays, like summer holidays and stuff like that, we did go on a few holidays. Like, over the years, we'd probably go on like one holiday a year, I would say, roughly. But in the other times, we'd either go to work with my parents, or we'd be put into like a childcare group thing that you go to. What do you call them? The one we went to was called Fun Pack, but that's not what you would call them. What are they called? Like a summer camp thing where you go there for the day and do fun things and then go home, like that kind of thing. So like, they worked really, really hard, and I respect the fact that they did that, and they worked hard, carried on going, didn't stop, loved it. Well, I didn't love it, but like, I appreciate it. Always respect your parents and your grandparents and the people around you, because, you know, they're important. Always important to do that. Anyway, so I thought I'd share with you guys some products that I love and I would say are non-negotiables. If you're listening, I will describe what I'm holding up. If you're watching, you can see, which is very exciting. These are just products that I would say are like a few that I have religiously loved and I'm religiously loving. And I think that we all have these kind of products. I don't necessarily talk about products and, you know, beauty stuff on the podcast. We talk about life things. But I thought we could bring in a little bit more of like me as a person into the podcast a little bit, and share some fun things with you guys, like fashion as well. If you ever want to hear about fashion, I'm always here for that. Anyway, let's start with dry shampoo. This is the Batiste dry shampoo. I love this dry shampoo. I've tried other dry shampoos. They don't hit the same. I use dry shampoo every week without fail. I just think it's a great product. And I think, you know, I try to leave my hair as long as possible before I wash it. I don't really like to wash my hair too much. I've really tried to train it. It's not the best. I try to leave it 7 days. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5. Depends on what I'm doing. You know, sometimes when you go on a date, you want your hair to look fresh. You don't want like greasy hair, because I feel like I always feel my best when my hair is fresh. But anyway, This Batiste dry shampoo is the best dry shampoo. This is the original one. I always go for the original one. I think it's the best. I don't really like all the other smells. I like this one. It's really good. Or the tropical one. I think it's quite a good one. But anywho, this dry shampoo I've religiously bought time and time again. I don't think anything beats it. I'm not willing to budge on buying something else. It's a great dry shampoo, and I usually use it like the day after I've washed my hair, just to keep my hair looking fresh as possible, and it definitely does help. So yeah, Batiste dry shampoo, non-negotiable. Never not using it unless something happens to trump it, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. The next one is lip balm, and this is a Carmex lip balm. I used to hate Carmex. How weird. I used to just not like it. To be fair, I've not really got like a favorite lip balm, but I'm using lip balm in general as a non-negotiable, okay? Because I use lip balm every single night. Every night before I go to sleep, I use lip balm. So lip balm's a non-negotiable. Great. Another non-negotiable, which I probably could potentially undo at some point, is the Isle of Paradise Fake Tan. This is the Isle of Paradise Light Glow Clear Self-Tanning Mousse. I use this every week. I love it. It makes me feel good. It's very, very natural in terms of a tan. It doesn't look too orange. I feel like it suits my skin tone the best. And I like the way this tan looks. If you wanted to know, I'm actually incredibly pale. Like, I'm a very, very pale person. So I feel like this just makes me look a little bit more healthy. There's nothing wrong with being pale. I just feel more confident when I'm a bit more tanned. And yeah, that's how I feel. Non-negotiable. Great product. If you ever want to try a tan, this Isle of Paradise tan, incredible. Love it. Okay, I've got 2 more to share with you. No, I've got 3. Oh my God. I thought my hairbrush was on the floor just because it was on the floor, but it's not. This hairbrush is the wet brush, pink one. Anyone who's listening will be like, what is this, a pink hairbrush? This hairbrush, oh my gosh, I love it. I've never found a hairbrush that brushes through my knotty hair better than this one. And this product, this hairbrush, I love you. You're amazing. And I broke my one. Well, that made no sense. I broke one of these once. And I had to like quickly order one off Amazon because I was like, this hairbrush I can't live without. A Tangle Teezer does not work the same. This hairbrush, if you suffer with like knotty hair when your hair's wet, especially, oh my God, this brush is amazing. I love it. I think it's technically a blow dry brush, but this one in particular, it's got like gaps in between. It's almost like a zigzaggy shape. Love it. Amazing. Okay, 2 more products to share with you before we talk about your non-negotiables, because I've got some good ones. Skincare is always really important. I think skincare, I've got a lot of skincare products that I love, so I'm not going to show you or talk about them all. But one I have been loving within the last 4 months, so this is a new non-negotiable, is my Skin and Me. Not being asked to talk about this. This is not sponsored. I have never been sponsored. I just use Skin and Me and I love it. It has made my skin so much better. I mean, granted, my skin's not the best at the moment, but like I had a bit of a faff. Basically, I had a reaction and I had to like change some things and it didn't work. So anyway, Skin and Me, amazing. I use it every night. It's really helped to control my spots. I have the worst spot prone skin. So Skin and Me, non-negotiable. I think I'll be using this for the rest of my life. That's how much I love it. So Skin and Me, amazing. The last non-negotiable, which I think most people will agree with, is sunscreen or sun cream, SPF, whatever you want to call it. Sun cream sounds so like childish, doesn't it? I'm just gonna get my sun cream. Anyway, this is the Mega Shade Breakout Proof Sunscreen Serum from Zit Sticker. Love it. Built for people that have spot prone skin. So if you've got spot prone skin, this SPF, incred. I love it. It's really nice. It hasn't broke me out. The bottle has lasted me a really long time, and I love it. Like, I couldn't rave about this more. But SPF in general is something that we should never ever not use, especially on your face throughout the winter months as well, because you know, sun does get to us. But anyway, I thought we could talk to you guys. I thought we could talk about some of your non-negotiables. Sorry, I feel like I'm a bit chaotic today, but we love a bit of chaos sometimes. You know what I mean? We do. Anyway, so you guys sent in some of your non-negotiables, and some of them are great. And I just think that sometimes you forget what non-negotiables you have in your life. So I'm going to go through some of them. I'm going to talk through them. We're going up random. These are all anonymous, by the way. So won't be saying anyone's names. But first up, we've got supportive people. Yes, there's supportive people. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have supportive friends, supportive family. Like my dad, for example, he doesn't really get my job, doesn't really understand like properly. He understands it, but he doesn't really understand it. We recently had a conversation actually about like my job. He was like, so what do you actually do? And he like, I explained it, but he was self-employed once, or was he? Yeah, he's been self-employed a few times, I think. And he understands the whole like being self-employed, what it entails, things and all these bits and bobs. So I know I can go to him, and he's so supportive with it. Like if I need to ask him a question or I need his advice on, you know, something like that, he'll always support me. My parents have always been supportive for me and my sister. Like we have both gone into very creative jobs, and they're just like, you do you. They're not controlling anything. They don't want us to do a certain type of job. They're just like, you do you. And I love that. So supportive people are great. Self-care, yeah, get that. I am a self-care lover. Every week, self-care. Always. It's important. It's important for your own well-being to have like self-care. Pilates, I'm with you on that one. I think any type of exercise, if you like swimming, if you like running, like my sister, for example, she runs every week. That's probably one of her non-negotiables in life. She'll always run, regardless. It'll be the weekend. We'll be at home at my parents' house. She'll still run. It's her non-negotiable. She will not change that. She's not going to stop doing it. It's something she loves doing, and she's going to do it. So any sort of exercise, I think, is a good non-negotiable to have. Coffee, I love that. I can't relate. I don't like coffee, but I can also understand why people would say coffee, because coffee is something that a lot of people need in their lives. So yeah, and this lovely human being has said, also, I love your podcast, so thank you so much. You're so welcome. They must not hold sexist / derogatory views about women. Yes, that is a good one. That is a really good one. Wow, that's a good one. I think that a lot of these things we probably would agree with, we wouldn't necessarily think of at the top of our head, but that is a good one, because like us women, we can do what we want. Do you know one thing I'll never be? I'll never be a girl who panders to guys and will clean the house and do the cooking. And no, I'm not doing it. It's an equal situation here. Equal. You can cook. You can learn to cook. You can clean. It's not just down to me. Yeah. Anyway, next one. To tell the truth and expect the same back. Yes, like I said earlier, honesty is the best policy. Always just, it's better to be truthful. It's better to be honest than lie and just like, oh, I just don't see the point. Why lying? I honestly don't understand why people lie. What are you gaining from lying and not being truthful? Clearly you know you're in the wrong. That's why you're lying. If you can't own up to your mistakes and the things you've done wrong, then there's something wrong with you. Sorry. Family, yep, agree. Family is a non-negotiable. I try to see my parents once a month. It's quite important to me to do that. I saw this TikTok ages ago about how like if you only see your parents once a year, you only see them so many times before they leave this planet. God forbid they like ever that. When that happens, you don't want to think about it. So I want to enjoy being with my parents as an adult and like being able to do adult things, and like, you know, it's not about when you're a child. I think it's so different, and when you're going through your teen years, it's so different. But when you hit adulthood, being able to do things with your parents and like enjoy things and like just do fun things like that you can both enjoy, like whether that's going to the theatre or I went to a gin tour with my dad, like things like that you can just go and enjoy as adults, and even just hanging out with them like that. Yeah, so I'm with you on the family front. Music, I need music in my life always and forever. Also with you on this one. I listen to music every single day. Sometimes I'll go the whole week listening to the same songs. Yeah, that is a thing. But I don't know how people don't do life I can't speak. Don't do life with music. Does that make sense? Basically, people that get ready with no music, people that get ready in silence, people that don't listen to music. Why? What do you do when you walk to work? What do you do when you get on the tube? Do you stand on the tube in silence? No, it's not for me. It's not for me. I can't sit on the tube in silence. There's too much going on. There's too many people like chatting away. No, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. So I'm with you on the music front. I love music. I love listening to it. And I love that there's so many different options out there. So if you're in the mood for, I don't know, a bit of noughties music, you listen to that. Maybe you want some sad songs. Maybe you want a bit of old school, like pop. Maybe you want a bit of I'm every woman, it's all in me. Do you know what I mean? Like, love a bit of music. Can't go wrong. With my boyfriend, I won't split the dinner bills, but we can take turns. Interesting. That's a good one, actually. I think that, to be fair, now I'm saying it, makes actual sense, because like sometimes it's a bit of a faff to split a dinner. Like, why do you need to split it? If you're in a relationship, you can take turns, right? Obviously, if one dinner is super expensive and the next one's really cheap, I think it makes a bit of a difference. But I do get that, actually, because like it's just so much easier. And you know, splitting it every time is just a faff. Like when I was with my ex, I think we just did it alternate. I can't speak. Alternate times. Oh God, honestly, sometimes I do this podcast and I think maybe you shouldn't. You can't speak. Anywho, another relationship one. Still being friends with a long-term ex that ended on good terms. Interesting. I'm not actually friends with any of my exes. I say exes like I've had loads. I've only had one relationship, but like boys I've spoken to, I'm not friends with any of them. Okay, apart from, are we friends? Acquaintances, maybe. I don't really see him that often. Like I see him like on the rare occasion. We dated for a bit, so I guess we're not really I wouldn't say we're friends, we're just acquaintances. Anywho, not the point. Still being friends with your long-term ex. I mean, I personally, it's hard. I think until you're in that situation, it's hard to know. But are you saying that you, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't have it. But you know, everyone has their own things. Everyone has their own ones. Do you know what I mean? I think you can never judge someone on their non-negotiables. It's your non-negotiable. So, yeah. Next one. If he doesn't have any live plants at home, or he's not I read that so wrong. If he doesn't have any live plants at home, then he's not mature enough. That's so good. The funny thing is, I have no live plants in my flat because I would kill them all. Like these tulips that you can see, they're fake. All the other plants in my flat, fake. But that's actually really funny. I like that. It's a good way of judging if that someone's mature. To be fair, if you can't look after a plant, then are you okay? I don't think I am. Driven and motivated. To be honest, I can't be with someone that doesn't have any life goals. Agreed. You've got to have some sort of life goals. Like, come on. Even just, it doesn't have to be a big goal, but like something that has you, like, whether that's you want a baby, you want a family, you want to live here, you want to live there, like that's a goal in itself. But having, like, for me, I'm quite work heavy driven, but like I think goals in life is so important. And you know, you must be motivated to do things. Like, you can't sit on the sofa all day. Not a bit of me. People need to be kind to animals. I think it says a lot. Yes, I agree. Why are you being like, why are you doing anything to an animal? I mean, I say this when I'm like, I'm not a vegan, I'm not a vegetarian, so I can't really speak out majorly about this, but like, I think with pets and stuff like that, don't treat a pet badly. Like, granted, when I was younger, I used to have this, my dog was called Coco. He was chocolate Labrador, and he used to fart a lot and always come over to me when he was going to fart. He knew what he was doing, and it would piss me off. And like, I wouldn't like hit him or anything, but I would shout at him. But I was going through my teenage years, so we literally got him when I was 12, 13, and you can imagine he was so annoying because he was a rescue dog. Yeah. Well, he wasn't really rescue. We like adopted him from someone else, but he was 2. Anyway, not the point. That's not what we're talking about. But yeah, I did chat him. But I love animals, and I totally agree with you. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to. Animals are precious. We're lucky to have them. Do you know what I mean? Honesty, trust, and having fun together. Agreed. Good one. Having fun together with whoever you're having fun with is a really good, important thing, because like, what's the point of hanging out with someone who's not bringing the fun? Good vibes, you know? I like to think I bring like good vibes to a situation. I like to chat. I like to have a good time. I like to just say random things. Anywho, let's carry on. That I want to get married and have kids. Yep, that's a good one. I think a lot of people have that one. Let there be quiet. Not every situation needs to be talked out. Sometimes yes, but not always. Agreed. Sometimes you just need some silence. I am with you on that one. I like a bit of silence. I like a little bit of quiet sometimes. It's nice to not have a conversation. Sometimes you just don't want to speak, and that's okay. What else have we got? I'll do a few more. Respect as an independent thing from love. Love comes and goes, but respect shouldn't. Yes, agreed. Sense of humor, both friendships and relationships. Agreed. I think I have quite a good sense of humor. I'd like to say anyway, if I do say so myself. But I think laughter is so important. Like, laughter is like one of the best feelings, and I think having laughter with someone is just so good. Like the other day, I was with this is actually from my friend Ellie. The other day, I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, we were chatting and she was like talking about having weird dreams, and she just goes, I just haven't eaten any cheese. I haven't had any cheese. So why am I having weird dreams? And it cracked me up. And like, we just sat there laughing for a good 5 minutes, because I was like, oh, I can't believe you just said that, because it's just so like, I don't know, it just really got me. But like, laughter is such an important thing, and having a sense of humor and being around people that get your sense of humor as well is also really important. Daily habits that make me feel good: journaling, gym, listening to podcasts. Yep, daily habits are also, I think, probably classed as a non-negotiable, because your daily habits are something you're not going to change. Like, that's your daily habit. Like, if you get up and go to the gym every morning, that's your daily habit. If you get up and make breakfast, or you, like, I have a 5-minute journal that I do in the morning, that's not necessarily a non-negotiable. I forget to do it sometimes, but like things like that, I think daily habits are definitely like within the realm of non-negotiables. We've got someone who shared some products. Refi eyebrow, 5-minute journal. Yep, my 5-minute journal's in there. Gymshark, Starbucks oat vanilla ice latte. It's a good non-negotiable. I actually don't think I have any like certain like brands that would be classed as non-negotiable, like as in terms of like clothing or like food or anything like that. I don't know. Is water a non-negotiable? I guess. I don't really love water. Saying that, I have got some water here, so, which I haven't touched. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Let me know in the comments, if you're watching, what your non-negotiables are. If you're listening, please do give this a 5-star review. It would make the world of difference. No. Oh my God, am I okay? It would mean a lot to me, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, do like, subscribe if you're watching. Sorry, this has been a bit chaotic of an end of a podcast episode. I've kind of enjoyed this though. It's been really nice to just sit and chat and not like, I don't know, I like talking about things, and sometimes it's nice to not be talking about advice. It's just be talking about things. Do you know what I mean? So if you have anything you'd like me to talk about, I'm down. I'm always here to chat. Always sat in my little living room, kitchen, my flat. Anywho, I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you enjoyed. See you all next week. You've still got time to find out your non-negotiables, work out your non-negotiables. You still have time. Still got time to live the best life. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll speak to you soon. Bye!